So in the last 7 months, we went from an idea to putting that idea into action, to getting our own samples, to fulfilling orders and sending them out to people. So that leads me to today, which I wanted to make a little video about, I guess, just to answer some questions. The more we post and everything, and people are visiting the site and checking out the products and everything, there's more and more questions, both from a standpoint of getting our supplements, the idea, and then getting it in hand. Why did we make the products that we did? Why did we use the dosages of each ingredient that we did? So I kind of wanted to make a video from a perspective of telling myself, with the information that I have now, my before self, if that makes sense. Because to me, that was like, I was the consumer before, and now I'm in a position of knowing what the products are like, knowing what it's like to make said supplements, and I guess trying to give some more information on that to you guys out there, the ones that are actually buying the supplements. So I thought I'd make a little breakdown here. The biggest question that I get, or the most frequent question that I get, is obviously on the ingredient, the supplement facts panel. Why did you choose certain doses of certain ingredients? Why didn't you put more of one thing over the other, or just more of everything? Which are valid questions. I mean, these are things that I would have said as well beforehand, before I knew of this little diagram that I just wrote here. This little shitty diagram, if you can't tell, this is actually a, hopefully that doesn't have too much glare. This is actually a weekly planner. So, yeah, but for all you visual learners out there, as well as myself, here is a little diagram. This diagram is just kind of showing why you can't make the super supplement that everybody thinks. Because, you come by, you might see one of the products, you check it out, you're like, oh, I kind of want more of this. Why doesn't it have more of this? Well, there's a variety of things. A is, I think the most obvious reason would just be cost. And even if that wasn't an issue, you then have to think about how much you want to sell that product for, or to the people. So even if what I'm about to show you was irrelevant, and you didn't have these issues, from a fiscal standpoint, it doesn't really make any sense. You don't want to make a product that nobody wants to buy, because obviously I wouldn't spend $80 on a pre-workout, and I don't think many other people would either. So, but beyond that, you've got this. Here's my little display here, which is, you've got a little bit of a choice. You can use less ingredients and maximize the dose of each ingredient. You can use more ingredients and make those doses less. But what you can't do is combine those two. This is our little serving size here. This is our scoop. You can take these 4 ingredients, just as an example. You can take these 4 ingredients, put it in there, it fits. You can take these 8 ingredients, put it in there, and it fits. What you can't do, which a lot of people want, is to take these doses and these ingredients and put it in here. I would love that too. However, the scoop would be half of this container. So, I think that's the first thing that I kind of learned was, throughout the process of making a supplement, you have to, be realistic with yourself, and also take into consideration when you are sampling these supplements, what means the most to you, what has the most effect performance-wise, and maximize that. And then other ingredients just kind of have to, they're still there, they're just, of course, you can't necessarily bring them in the dose that you may have wanted to. However, that's at expense of maximizing the dose of the other ingredients. So that is my little diagram. Let me actually, we can bring the scooper out here. So with the ingredients that we chose and the doses that we chose, of course, as we were testing them, I knew the things that I wanted to use the most of and the other things that were beneficial, just not as beneficial the more you used them like the other ones were. So here's your scoop. This is the wiggle room that you have. You can make this, you can make a serving slightly bigger than this, but realistically, this is your serving size right here. And I think trying to put on this little diagram like we did of why you might not necessarily be able to put all those ingredients in this was kind of what I was getting at here. And then so what you can do is just, like I said, maximize those ingredients, use the highest quality that you can, and continue from there. Which brings me to one other thing. I got a couple comments about people that said like, oh, made in America, but outsource every ingredient. Yeah, not every, you can't, it's not realistic to try and get every ingredient from a vendor in America. For example, the reason why I had this idea for a video was because we just got some more samples in. Actually, let me get those. We just had some new samples come in, which I don't know what I'm not going to show you the brand or the company name just in case. I don't know what the, deal with that is, but this is how you get these little single serving samples here. And one of the samples that we just had made was using Creapure, which is, a lot of people may know as one of, if not the highest quality of creatine that you can get. This creatine is only made in Germany. It's a trademarked company. Creapure is its own type of creatine, its own production and manufacturing of creatine. You can only get it in Germany. And so obviously, if we want to use that, we get it from Germany, yes, but it's still produced in America. So I think that's just the only other thing that I wanted to kind of bring to attention here. But anyway, that's my little rundown here. Hopefully that kind of clears some things up. And if anybody else has some questions on this or anything, then let me know. I'll make some more little diagrams like this. All right, let's go get some workouts in.